What's going on, everyone? This afternoon I'm going to put the tracks on the four-wheeler. We got about 5-6 inches of light fluffy snow the other day, but I need to get in the woods and get some tubing work done, and part of that is being able to move around in the woods and get there without the equipment and tubing. So put the tracks on the four-wheeler, show you guys how I do that. It takes about maybe 40 minutes to do. It's not too bad. It's just remembering where all the pieces go. So stay tuned. So I'm going to be doing this up in the driveway. That's just because there's no snow there right now, and it allows me to not get completely covered in snow. Now, the easiest way I've found to be able to do the tracks is to bring them to wherever I'm doing it. They're stored in the shed. It keeps the sun off them for the summer when I'm not using them, get some more life out of them. So I got to lug them up there and muscling these things around. They're pretty heavy. They're probably 100 pounds a piece, somewhere around that neighborhood, and pretty awkward. So what I do now, I use the tractor. Lug them up, put them where I'm going, and then I don't have to lift them as much. There, tracks are loaded. It's not the prettiest way to do it, but this is by far the easiest way to get the tracks up to the driveway. So these are Camoplast Tatou 4S tracks. I bought them new when I bought the four-wheeler. It's a 13, so they are. Some of the tracks are getting a little bit worn, especially on the rears. You can kind of see some belting coming through. It says that it's got like 2,200 miles on it. I was grooming snowmobile trails. I had a groomer behind the four-wheeler, and then just with Maple I ran out of time for that. Now it's pretty much just sugaring on them, but these actually gear it down, so there's not 2,200 miles on them. It's probably really like 800 or 1,000, so it's not that bad, but the rears are getting worn. I'm gonna run them till they blow. It's just easier, and I'm kind of cheap on that. Now, this is where the OSHA safe operation really takes over. I've done it with a floor jack, and it's a pain to do that, and I don't want to lug it up here, so I've got a tractor with forks and just pick it up with that. So the four-wheeler's up in the air. I'm gonna go get some tools. I think I've got everything pretty well down on what I use for this project, but we'll see if we can get it together. So most everything on that is metric, but not completely. So I've got to grab some metric, and then I bring my regular kit up too, because it's just a little bit easier to have that up there. 15 and a 17. Impact driver. A little pain doing it one-handed. 18 socket. My adapter's in the four-wheeler. I think that's it. Oh, and a chair. Well, that didn't work. I just broke that. I guess we gotta do it the old-fashioned way. So now comes my favorite part, remembering how exactly these front brackets go on. These are definitely the more complicated of the two. The rears go on really easy. These, I put the bolts back in the way they are every year, and I store them that way. It's a little bit easier to figure out where exactly everything goes. So we'll get this thing put together. So now the bottom one goes up, and there's two brackets right there, and those go inside the A-arm, and then there's one that goes outside here, and it drops down. This has to finagle through, but to do it, you gotta take that center one out, pull up the bottom one, and then it slides down in place. Those two just bolt up tight. The center one has one of the linkages hooked to it. So that bottom bracket's on. Now this is one of the best times of it all. You got to really make sure that the four-wheeler is in neutral so that you can rotate that hub, because you got to get things lined up. And there's multiple holes on the hubs for these, so taking multiple different machines. They don't they're proprietary to just one. It's just the mounting kits themselves, not the hub of the track. So I've got to rotate that around and get it so I can put it up there, because, well, like I said, they're not light. There. And bolt it up. So tightening these up first, then the linkage. All right, lug nuts are tight. Now it's time for hooking up the linkage underneath. This can sometimes be a challenge, as you got to manipulate the track up and down while you're doing it. It's kind of a pain. All right, there's one. Let's see if we can get the other one done now. There, fronts are on. Those are the most challenging of the four, just to get those two on. I do need to kind of drive it ahead every now and then to tighten the lug nuts up, because there's a couple, the way the bracing is, I can't get in from the outside. So we'll get that done after I get the back done. So we'll swap over and get the back now. So this bracket's much simpler. It just hooks underneath the A-arm here and goes through that bolt on the bottom that holds that hub on there. Not a big deal, just one bolt it hooks on, and then this one's pretty easy. There are two grease fittings in there that every time I take it off though, I do hit them just because we're in there and it's easy. this, you just pull that bolt out, that slides over, goes up, and in. There's one down. This one's way easier, it's less time. I gotta hook the linkage up and then we're in. There. All the tracks are on now. I was able to get that done. One of my buddies stopped by, so I finished getting one on, talking to him for a little while. Just gotta roll ahead now. The way the linkages are that hold the tracks up, you can't get into all the lug nuts, so I've just gotta creep it ahead, torque them real quick, and then probably gotta try this thing and make sure it works all right in the snow.